Well, hey, Mariah.
Hi, Monique.
How are you today?
I'm feeling really good today.
Oh.
There's such good energy in this room. I'm vibing.
Today is a good
Today's
day.
a good day. It's a good Friday.
It is. It is a good Friday. So I have a really, really close friend of mine who is a nurse and a yoga teacher, and I've done some retreats with her, and she came up with this amazing way to work through emotional intensities.
I love that.
And I want to share it. And I've been poking and prodding at this poor woman to like, can you let me share it? I feel like people need to hear this. And I'm so excited to share it because it's so simple yet so profound. And when you find things that are simple and profound, that's
an aha moment.
Kind of like let them. Simple concept, profound ripple, right? Mm-hmm. I kind of feel like this maybe has a sort of vibe. So do you want to hear more?
I would love to hear more. Let's jump into it.
Okay, let's do it.
Welcome to Heart and Soul, the podcast where we empower and inspire women to lead their best lives, harnessing the power of their hearts and souls. We are Mariah
and Monique,
your hosts and guides on this journey of self-discovery and personal growth.
In each episode, we will dive deep into topics that matter most to you, from self-love and confidence to career development, relationships, and everything in between. We believe that every woman has a unique strength and inner wisdom waiting to be unleashed.
Join us as we cover insightful heart and soul-centered topics and interview incredible women who've overcome challenges, chased their dreams, and found their true purpose. Through all of this, you will discover practical tips, strategies, and real-life stories to help you navigate life's twists and turns.
For whatever season of life you're in, this podcast is your safe space to explore, learn, grow, and possibly even laugh and cry with us. So grab your headphones, maybe your favorite drink, and we'll embark on this transformative journey together.
With heart, I'm Mariah.
And with soul, I'm Monique. So I have a really great friend of mine. Her name is Amy Fogarty. She is a nurse and a yoga teacher, and I've done a couple of retreats with her in Santa Fe.
Okay.
And she is a stellar human being. She wasn't able to be here today with us. She has just a lot going on, and I was just mentioning in the intro that I've been really kind of on her because she told me about this acronym a while ago, and I was like, wait, what? That's like really kind of, and she's like, oh, no, it's fine. I was like, no. That's actually kind of really cool. She's like, yeah, I use it all the time. And I was like, I feel like you need to share this. And I kind of like I challenged her to put it on her Instagram, and she put it on her Instagram. But I was like, I feel like this needs to be shared in a wider capacity. So thank you for letting me bring it to the podcast audience and share it. So just a little backstory. We all have these really intense emotional times. Think back to the last one you had. What was the last one you had?
Okay. Am I sharing what it was?
Yes. Share it. Yeah.
Okay. So I've been going through the college admissions process with my daughter.
Yes.
And I mean, on a scale of intensity, this isn't, off the charts.
Yes.
But she didn't get into a school that she had really
wanted,
hoped for.
Yeah.
At least I had really hoped for. I think she handled it better than I did. But it was emotional. Like there was just like, you build up so much waiting. Like you're waiting for this like moment where they tell you to open an email and like get your future, right? Like just to see if you're in or you're not, right?
Yes.
And everything's riding on that, and you're waiting for months. So I feel like there was so much buildup, and then I was trying to manage my emotions, her emotions. So
you're like, this is the place of your dreams. I mean, my dreams.
Yeah,
right?
But also like it doesn't really matter because in the end, like if it's not meant to be, so I'm like balancing all of this. And at the end of the day, she balanced it better than anybody, but yay. I guess I've raised her well.
Yes.
But it was like an intensity of emotion, and then it was like, poof, you have to let it disseminate and move on.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Really,
that's
yeah.
like a very recent thing. If
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it, like that's
Thank you for sharing
within
that.
the last week or two.
I 100% understand. You have this anticipation and the energy builds. The emotions
You're
build.
just like, and then you're literally waiting for
Yes.
like down to the minute. It's going to release at 6:59, and you're just like,
This is a great example.
And there's and there's been other admissions that we've done this through several schools, and one, she opens the email and the bagpipes are playing, and it's like this big celebration, and so you just don't know when you open the email what's going to happen, and then this was the first one that was bad news, but in the end, it doesn't really matter. It's like I could go on about this college admissions process.
Yeah,
but
that's a whole thing.
it's an interesting time of life, and it was a wave.
Yeah, and it's so interesting because I feel like when things like that happen, sometimes the emotional intensity surprises me. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
And so my friend Amy came up with the acronym WAVE.
That's perfect.
Because a couple of things. When the emotions are washing over you, you feel like you're right. Like I was just in Hawaii and we went to the pipeline where the surfers, like the big surfers, they surf the 20-foot waves, right? And I was like, oh, I'm just going to go in and get down past the waves and swim out there. Because there's people swimming out there, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, it can't be that bad. I couldn't get beyond the wave. I was in the spin cycle.
Yeah.
And I was like,
oh my God.
it feels like the wave, like you're in the spin cycle. The intensity builds and builds and builds. And you're just like,
You're waiting for the crest.
yeah, and it doesn't come, or it comes and then it crashes back on you again. And it's such a profound, metaphor for life, right?
1,000%.
You just experience this where you're like, okay, and then it comes, and then you're like, wait, what? And then it's washing, and then there's a crashing, and then there's another one, and then it builds and builds,
Yeah,
and then
because it's on to the next thing.
Right.
There's always on to the next wave.
right. But the intensity always has kind of surprised me. It surprises me sometimes that I'm like, oh, I'm super chill about this. But then when I'm intense about it, I'm just like, what? Where did this come from? So this acronym WAVE, the emotional washing over, is really helpful for me in those times of just like surprise intensities with emotions. And it really, what it stands for is, the W stands for witness. Just witness the emotion. Try not to like buy into it too much, right?
Yeah.
Just kind of observe. If we think about your scenario and your situation, you were like getting involved, right? You were like getting like amped onto it and okay, what's going on here? I'm getting really anxious. I'm getting really nervous or whatever. Sit and just observe what's going on. The A is for allow. Allow it to be, that emotion, without pushing down, pushing it away, resisting it, or directing it.
Yep.
Just allow. So witness, allow. The next thing you want to do is validate, the V. Validate with compassion for yourself, for this hard, this painful, this part of the human experience that exists to all beings. Just validate that this is real.
Yep.
This anxiety, I'm seeing it. It's like here. I'm allowing it to be here. I have compassion for it. It's really challenging. Not like, oh, don't gaslight yourself, right? Like dismiss the why do you have so much anxiety about this? This is dumb.
Right.
No. Let's validate ourselves, right? And then explore.
Ooh.
Explore. Where do you feel the emotion in your body?
Yep.
Is it going to be helpful for you to maybe sit with it? Maybe you need to put a hand on your heart. Does it feel helpful if you could possibly breathe through it? Maybe some gentle movement, like maybe yoga, going for a walk, right? So I've noticed with really strong emotions and sudden emotions that kind of creep up on me that surprise me, when I try to run away from them, they get a little more intense. Have you noticed this yourself?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you try to avoid it, it's going to still find you You can't hide from what's already within you.
Oh my gosh, it's so true.
How many people are hiding from emotions that they're having every day and are stuffing them? That's like it's a massive problem that we're confronting.
I would agree. Yeah. I feel like a lot of like personality disorders, a lot of just people, there's a saying, hurt people.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're walking around with all these samskaras, these like pains in their body, like these traumas, and it just comes out sideways. And
it comes out sideways is a really good way to put it.
Yeah. I just feel like when I run from it, it gets bigger. And I have a friend who's talks about it like it's a dragon, an intense emotion. Like it doesn't exist. And the dragon just keeps getting bigger in the corner. And she's like, I finally realized I need to go pet the motherfucking dragon. And becomes friends with the dragon.
Become friends with the dragon.
And this is sort of that wave concept as well. Like, how can I not get stuck in the spin cycle? How can I just like sit back and like observe what's going on and witness it, allow it to be, validate that this is not easy, and then maybe explore. How does this feel? Where is it at? Is there anything I can do with it with gentleness and grace, right?
Yeah.
Allow that wave to kind of like run through that process, that cycle. And when you do that, I feel like instead of stuffing it down, instead of pushing it aside, instead of like spurting it out on other people, letting it go sideways, this is a really healthy tool for us to deal with those emotional intensities.
Yes. As I'm listening, I'm thinking about a lot of things, but probably the most like coming to the surface for me is how effective this would be in parenting.
Oh, yeah.
Parenting little ones, right? Parenting toddlers.
Yes.
Like how often are we riding the waves of our children learning in the world, right? And so if you just think about like your kid falls down, hurts themselves or, falls down or whatever, and then like how you can work through that and not just be like, it's okay, don't cry, this didn't happen, or can you let them actually ride the wave of managing their own emotions? And so as a parent, that was something somehow I kind of understood when they were little,
very
of
fortunate.
Like not trying to stuff their emotions away and tell them they couldn't cry. It's like, ride it out, ride the wave.
Yes.
And I think as a result, I have some pretty emotionally mature children who can ride their own waves, right?
Yes.
And so I think this is a super valuable
tool
acronym that a mom could use.
Yes.
In helping to guide children towards having that emotional, like how to ride that emotional intensity. Because shit's gonna happen. Like the life is just waves. Like just like the waves don't stop if you're on a beach, like the pull of the earth or the moon or whatever, like they're not stopping. So life isn't any different. There's always going to be a wave. Some are bigger, some are smaller. And nothing makes me happier than sitting and listening to the waves. Right?
Just, even being on them and playing with them. Maybe not on the pipeline, unless you're a surfer.
But there's something so calming about being in them and letting them pass and letting them ride. So having a tool to relate that to your own life experience or like experience that you're living through, it's so valuable. And tool, like I always talk about having like wearing a tool belt of life.
The right tools make all the difference. They make jobs way easier.
Yeah, right. Yes, and work. If you have the right tools, you can actually do a good job.
If you're like trying to put a picture up and you don't have like a hammer and a nail,
it's a lot harder.
It's not happening. Yeah, but you got to have the tool.
And so having these tools of how to navigate something that's inevitable in life, like intense emotion, is, it's just a solid topic that I'm so glad we're talking about, because I feel like that a lot of people maybe didn't get those tools out of childhood. Especially, this also came to mind, in a culture where we're just supposed to be more stoic, we're supposed to be like nonplussed, or in as women, like, are we supposed to just hold it all together? We can't be overtly emotional. The way that media displays, or, you think about like politicians, it's always like, oh, she was too emotional. Oh, for God's sakes, right?
Wow.
So everything is like rigged that women are supposed to just have it and hold it all together, which is completely ridiculous.
Yes.
So we need tools
Yes.
of how to not have to do that, but
Yes.
also process something because we weren't necessarily taught it that way.
Right. And I would like to go further and say men also.
Also, absolutely.
They are, society has also
told them to stuff it.
Yeah. And the only reason I know, raising 3 sons, like don't cry, don't show your emotions. Yeah. So I feel like this is a really good tool, as you were saying, because you had such great points. Like waves don't stop. Emotions don't stop. Intensities of life. There's times when the waves are crashing. There's times when they're very subtle. There's times when maybe it appears flat, right?
Yeah.
But they're not going to not happen. Waves are just not going to not happen. Emotional intensities.
Yeah.
So it's best if you can learn to plan for them and have a tool to use that's healthy.
Have your surfboard on those waves. This applies a lot to kind of how I've approached my work over the years too with weddings, because obviously super intense time, lots of emotions. And what I tell people is like the memories are caught in between the highs and the lows. I also relate this to traveling or being on a vacation, right?
We talk about this a lot.
The vacations that are perfectly uneventful are not memorable, right?
Yes.
Those where there's some like intensity,
little drama,
little highs and lows of like maybe, your travel or whatever it might be. Those are where you come back and you're like, remember that thing that happened? Like memories are built in riding these waves. It isn't when the seas are calm. When things are calm, it's true. Just like, it just passes by. But when there's some waves happening, some intensity happening, you're actually logging that as memories.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to be as negative memories. Riding that wave, following that process can allow that to be a positive memory, especially in the exploring piece, in that E, because you're like, maybe this was a good thing.
Yeah.
Right?
And I would say too, even expansion and growth.
Yeah.
Think about it. If you think back to your life, my life in particular, every time when I went through these intense times, I grew exponentially versus just like the really good safe times. Now, I need the really good safe times to like
store up the energy you're going to need to ride that wave.
No kidding. To just like, what in the, just to be able to get back out there and have those intense times. So thank God for them. But honestly, the waves are when we learn, right? Yes. That's when we grow and expand. Like you were saying, it fascinates me. It's so part of our lives, but yet I feel like we resist it. And maybe we resist it because we don't have the right tools to deal with it.
Of course.
Right?
How would you just know, right? We as humans like have some instinctive, like we're built with instinctive traits, but a lot of the like deep instinct that we have is based on a time we don't live in anymore. Fight or flight, like the caveman,
yes.
right? We aren't cavemen.
No, we're not even near there.
So what are the tools that we need to actually like accept the place that we're in today? That we don't have to run from everything. We aren't in a fight or flight every moment, but our bodies still function in that.
Yes.
So how can you retrain yourself neurologically and physically to not overreact in a situation where it's not necessary?
Agreed.
But like, that's how we're wired.
Yes.
And if you lean into that wiring, you will find yourself in this constant, very toxic fight or flight mode where your cortisol is spiking, chasing the dopamine.
Yeah, it's not sustainable.
No.
Yeah.
You're going to burn out.
Yeah.
Haha. Then you do, right? Now
we've talked about this before.
And there's the smooth rolling waves, and then there's like,
there's the ones
how
at the
painful
pipeline.
do you want to make this?
Yeah, where you get in the spin cycle and you can't get out.
Yep. And that's burnout, really.
Yes.
Oh, there's so much about this that just like goes through a lot of topics that we've covered.
Exactly.
And like a lot of different areas that we've explored, coming back to, do you have the tool set that you need to ride the waves of life? And that
I love the way you said that.
That acronym are the pieces of that.
I agree. And it's like I said, it's so simple yet so profound.
Okay, so let's go through the letters again.
Yep.
So witness.
Yes, wave. W, witness.
So can you step outside of the situation and just see it for what it is?
Just observe.
Just observe. Like
Right.
take it all in.
Yep. Just kind of like, whoa, I'm flooded. I'm emotionally flooded right now versus like, I'm flooded. You know, I'm
Yeah,
not saying
it's like-
don't allow yourself to have the emotions. I'm saying like, just observe that you're actually doing it.
Yes.
Right. Versus sometimes we get so caught up in it that we start believing the stories. I was reading one a couple of weeks ago or watching something and somebody said like, just because you have the feeling, a lot of us associate, I'm feeling bad, like I don't feel good, I feel sad, so therefore I am bad. No. Feelings are not who we are.
Yeah.
They're just, mirrors and windows into what's going on inside. Just allow.
Oh my gosh,
right?
just take that all in. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yes.
Okay.
Witness.
And then allow.
Allow. So I'm witnessing, I'm seeing, I'm being really flooded with emotions right now. Wow. And then I'm going to just allow. I'm going to allow these emotions to exist without trying to be like, get out of here. No, don't feel this. Don't do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that leads really into validate.
Yep.
Validate.
It's real. It's okay.
This is hard.
Yes.
Being a human's hard.
Yep.
We don't come with owner's manuals.
Sure don't.
Yeah. And being a parent, right? The kids
Right.
don't come with owner. And then E.
Yep.
Explore.
Explore.
Yeah. Just look and see what it is, what's going on with you. Maybe
What's the opportunities? What could this mean?
would some movement help me?
Mm-hmm.
Do I want to touch the energy and just give it some grace and comfort? Maybe just what does it feel like? What does the emotion look like? I have an emotional release exercise that I do with people. What is the emotion color? Where is it at? What's it feel like? What would it feel like if I send it love and grace versus just anger and,
Yeah.
like aggression?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Relating this back to my emotional,
Yes,
more recent
yes,
emotional
yes.
moment, it's sort of exactly like the peak of the emotion was happening at the point of like, open the email, get the answer that you've been waiting for. So
Yeah.
like the buildup was the intensity.
Yes.
Then you have this crest of the wave, and then you have to manage the ride down. And I was very like, at first just like mad, like just like, how could they not take you? You're perfect. Blah, blah. And then I was like, oh, it's okay for you to feel however you want to feel
Yeah.
about this, right? And that's what I wanted her to know was like, you can be mad, you can be angry, you cannot care, but like whatever it is, I validate.
Yes,
you
I
have an
love
emotion
that.
about it. You
Yes.
can cry, you cannot cry, whatever, however you're gonna feel, and I'm gonna feel how I'm gonna feel.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to explore, what does this mean?
Yes.
And what does it mean
What are
for
the
your
next
future?
steps?
And wow, look at actually, maybe that wasn't the right fit. And this other great fit is like gleaming in the background that we should spend more time exploring. And it was interesting because I don't know that was how I would have handled it at her. I just don't think that was the same dynamic that I had in her age in a similar situation.
Oh my gosh. My
because
kids are
it was
so much more emotionally mature than
right.
me.
It was like, just be happy about what you have, not about what you don't
Yes.
have. That was sort of the narrative in
messaging.
my
Yes,
house.
Yes.
And I think it's perfectly happy to be upset that you lost something.
Yes.
And two things can be true at the same time.
Absolutely.
You can both be sad about it and move on to be happy about something else.
Mm-hmm.
But if you fail to validate the sadness or the anger about something,
Yes.
the moving on to something else is never quite
Right. Because you're
satisfied.
You're gripping
hanging on.
still. And how can you hold something new when you're gripping?
Yeah. So letting it flow through, wave pass, and then the positive on the other end of being like, oh, okay, now we can see clearly the next step or the future and like feel settled in it and not be 20 years later still holding on to this rock of like, fuck them. They didn't take me to that school. Not that that happened to me or anything, but Yeah.
I mean, it's just talking metaphorically.
It was a very interesting experience of literally reliving my past and handling it differently myself and handling it different as a parent. And so proud of that.
Yes.
Feel like we've just
full circle
smoothed the seas, and now we're just in a nice rolling wave, and I'm
in a rowboat getting to your destination. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great acronym. And interesting, too. I love that we live on the shores of such a big body of water.
That has waves.
Right.
Even though it's just a lake.
I know. It's massive, and we get to see waves all the time. Yep. We love swimming in the waves. We have surfers on the waves here. Even though it's freaking cold, they're nuts. They wear wetsuits. They wore wetsuits or whatever. Yeah.
My favorite thing is to be on the beach listening to the waves. And then I have to live in a place where that's a possibility. And that we can do that here is really cool.
Yeah.
Because our lake is so big. It basically functions as a sea.
So I want to just give a shout out to my friend Amy and thank her for allowing us to share this, because I believe that this acronym can help people. It's easy enough to remember, you know? Yep. It's easy enough to use when you're emotionally flooded. You're not going to, what was that word again? Yep. Well, everyone can remember the word wave, and you can work through it. And whether you get better or not, I want to challenge everyone to try it.
Yeah. Next time you find yourself in an emotionally charged situation, or no one's coming.
Yeah, right.
You're predicting.
Yeah.
Using this acronym to help you ride it successfully.
And we can even link in the show notes, or put in the show notes, what the acronym stands for.
Yeah.
So that, you can take a screenshot or copy and paste.
Because sometimes I'll know that there's an acronym I should use, and then I'm like, what was the W? I'm supposed to do what? Yeah.
I'm supposed to wait? No.
Wait,
I'm supposed to
witness.
Wine?
I could come up. Wine.
And then wine?
Accuse. What were those words again? Can they apply here? Yeah.
So let's link them.
That sounds like
let's put them in the show notes.
Thank you for sharing this, and to Amy for letting us talk about it here. Yeah. And I'm really curious how this landed for people in terms of if it, if it makes sense.
Yeah.
How people plan to use it, or. And I'd love your feedback on that. I'd love people listening to share their feedback on what this meant to them.
Agreed. My partner always says feedback is a gift. Yeah. And it's so true. So please give us feedback. And also, please give us 5 stars.
If you love this podcast, we'd love your 5-star review, or your share. More and more people are finding us, which is so exciting. I'm finding myself in the wild, and people saying I listen to your podcast. And I'm like, wait, what? People listen? It's crazy. Or watch it? I love watching podcasts. That feels so rewarding to know that the time that we're spending is actually resonating with people.
Yes.
So let us know, because then we'll want to keep doing this. Which we would just do it to spend time together. But the fact that we can share that gift with the world has been really super cool too.
Yeah. So thank you everybody for listening today. And the next time you find yourself in an emotionally charged situation, as Mariah said, try riding the wave, and witness, allow, validate, and then explore.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thanks, Monique.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Cheers, friends. You've just finished another episode of the Heart and Soul podcast. We hope that you've enjoyed the show, and if you've loved it, we would love if you'd leave us a 5-star review on whatever platform you're listening. You can find links to leave that review in the show notes, where you'll also find other resources that we reference on our show. And if you think a friend could find value in today's episode or any future episodes, please share this episode with them on social media. This is one of the only ways the podcast can organically grow, and we just can't wait to connect with you and all of your besties. You can also find Monique and I on our many social media platforms or our websites, and we're going to leave links to those in the show notes as well. Thank you for listening. We look forward to sharing our hearts and souls with you again next time. With Heart, I'm Mariah.
And with Soul, I'm Monique.